Everybody, welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. Now, I know I didn't get too far on this last time. There was a lot of reading, I know that. But it's a visual novel type game, so hopefully you like it, and hopefully you'll continue watching. So let's get back into it, shall we? Now, if I remember last time, our heart had an arrhythmia event where it was beating too fast and we pretty much almost died. And we got into a disabled school. Well, school for disabled kids. And just got out of the hospital. And now we are at the gates to the school. Alright. The gate looked far too pompous for what it was. In fact, gates in general seem to do that, but this one especially so. Red bricks, black wrought iron, and gray plaster assembled into a whole that didn't feel welcoming at all. I wondered if it looked like what a gate for a school should look like, but couldn't really decide. Probably no. Of course, I didn't want to get stuck on thinking about the gate for too long, so I entered through it with a brisk pace that felt surprisingly good. Actually, it's a good picture. Moving forward feels good. Looks like a picture of a real place. It must be. I don't know where that is. Looks good. It's, cool building. Anyway. So I walked towards the main building of Yamaku Academy with brisk pace. I'm alone, as my parents are taking my stuff to the dorms, and there's supposed to be someone waiting for me. The grounds are incredibly lush, filled with green. It doesn't feel like the kind of grounds a school would have, more like a park, with a clean walkway going past trees and the smell of fresh cut grass and all other park-like things. Words like clean and hygienic pop into my mind. It makes me shudder. Thinking my character's kind of depressed too. The clues from last time. Well, I'm depressed too, so why to talk? I shake them off. Stay open-minded now. It's your new life. You have to take it as it comes. That's what I tell myself. A few big buildings loom behind the leafy canopies, too big and too many for just a school. Everything seems off. It's different from what I thought I knew about schools. It's an uncanny valley. Even though I was told this is my new school, in the back of my head it doesn't feel like one. I wonder if the feeling is real or caused by my expectations of a school for the disabled. Speaking of that, I don't see anyone else here. It's kind of eerie. Makes me wish there was somebody here so I could anchor myself to something tangible instead of having this feeling that I stepped into another dimension. The trees hum with the wind, and the green hues flashing all around me catch my attention. It makes me think about hospitals again, how they say that the operating rooms are painted green because green is a calming color. So why am I feeling so anxious despite all this greenery? ... Only after I stand in front of the haughty main building, I surprise myself by realizing why the gate bothered me. There was the last chance I had to turn back, even if I had no life I could return to. But still, after entering, there was absolutely no way I could go back anymore. Feeling nervous and with this realization set in my head, I opened the front door. It looks like a nice place, wherever it is. A tall man with bad posture notices me as I enter. We're the only people in the lobby, so it's only logical. You must be... Nikki? Nick, hi. So you are. Excellent. I'm your homeroom and science teacher. My name is Muto. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Welcome. We exchange a handshake that is neither firm nor sloppy, and he looks at his watch. The head nurse asked for you a brief check-in visit, but there's no time for that now. Oh, should I go later? Yes, afternoon's probably fine. Should get going and introduce you to the rest of the class. They're waiting already. How do you know he's best posture? It's okay to me, I guess, but I'm not an expert. Waiting for me. I don't really like being the center of attention, but I guess it's inevitable in a situation like this. Somehow, not knowing what is waiting for me makes me feel really nervous. Thinking of this, I must miss what the teacher is saying. Do you want to introduce yourself to the class? I think it'd be... I don't know. I don't know which one's more character. I mean, he seems like a pretty depressed kid. But he's also trying to get a more optimistic outlook, I guess, in spite of what he thinks of himself or what's going on. But I think I'm going to say why. Why? Do I have to? Of course not. That's why I asked. Right. Let's go then. My heart is pounding in my chest and it keeps me thinking about my condition as I follow the teacher up the stairs. The third door down the third floor corridor is marked as a classroom for class 3-3. Mito enters the door, opens the door, and enters. Yeah, he enters the door and then opens it. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late again. I hesitate for a split second at the door, freezing on the spot. Get a grip. This is a big step. I know that. But there isn't any point to worrying so much about it. At least not this soon. It kind of looks like a regular type of class. I follow the teacher into the classroom and look around, partially so I won't have to meet the curious gazes of my new classmates. It's pretty spacious. The ceiling is unusually high and there's lots of space left over around and in between the desks. The entire wall taken up by blackboards and the high, old-fashioned windows only make it seem larger. The students' desks are just standard wooden desks with a shelf underneath for books and wooden chairs with metal frames. Simple and efficient. I stop walking in front of the classroom and face the other students. They all look normal, like students in any other school. But then why would they be here? They're probably like me and have something wrong with them. Only it's just not immediately obvious. Then I notice that one of the girls seems to be missing the thumb of her right hand. It's a little jarring. Oh, there's more. Despite the natural tendency to listen to when someone's talking about you, I tune out the teacher's speech halfway through while he introduces me to the class. I notice a flash of dark hair and see that someone is looking at me. A girl with really long, straight hair and that is pretty eye-catching. She sees me looking back at her. She covers her face with her hands as if it will make her invisible. Ooh. There is one boy with a cane leaning against the lockers at the rear of the class. It's weird seeing one so young with a cane. Another girl seems to be making some weird hand motions. Sign language? She peers at me over the rims of her glasses, then goes back to whatever she's doing. Guessing that's her. I don't know. It's kind of cute. So is the cheery-looking girl with pink hair sitting next to her. It's really hard to miss. I don't know how I didn't notice her the moment I walked in. It is hard to know It is hard to miss somebody with pink hair, I'll admit. Please welcome our newest classmate. He claps his hands and so does everyone else, except one girl in the first row who has only one hand. I cringe a little but hide it by bowing in thanks for this applause I did not deserve. After the applause, there is a brief silence that nobody seems to want to be responsible for breaking. The teacher soon realizes that he should probably say something. He opens up with some unintelligible unintelligible noise, which I can't even say, shuts up as he loses his momentum and then starts introducing me. Nobody seems to be too interested. Maybe I should have said yes to the self-introduction thing. Probably realizing he doesn't know anything about me, he just ends up saying my name wrong again and asks me to write it on the blackboard. I do that and turn back to face the class, feeling awkward. I listen to the teacher as he drones about getting along while letting my gaze sweep across the classroom. Everyone seems to be listening to him intently, and when he's done, they clap their hands again, which feels like a weird thing to do. The first row girl claps on this round, with her one hand against her other wrist that ends in the bandaged stump. Doesn't look like she has an arm at all. Anyway. It makes me feel a little bad. We're going to be doing some group work today, so that'll give you a chance to talk with everyone. Is that okay with you? It's fine with me. That's good. You can work with Akamichi, who's the class representative. She can explain anything you might want to know, and who else might be able to do that better, right? How could I know? The teacher passes out the day's assignments and announces that we will be working in groups of 3. It hits me that I don't know who Akamichi is. Akamichi. Hard for me to say. Slow. The teacher seems to catch my helpless expression. Oh, right. Akamichi is right there. Izune Akamichi. Oh, the girl with the drill hair. As he calls out her name, the cute, bubbly-looking girl with bright pink hair and gold eyes waves her hand at me. I take a seat next to her by the window. Hey, I guess you're Akamichi, right? Nice to meet you. Ha ha ha. Exclamation point. Tilde. Exclamation point. What? I'm caught off guard by her laughter. Was my voice. Nice to meet you too. But Tilde. Exclamation point. Not Akamichi. Misha. This is Akamichi. Shi-chan. Giggling, Misha points to the girl next to her, the one I saw using sign language before. It looks like she has been staring at me this whole time. She nods once nonchalantly to show that she acknowledges my presence, but only barely. She has short yet carefully neatly brushed hair, a pair of oval-shaped glasses balanced on the tip of a dainty nose, and dark blue eyes that seem to alternate every few seconds between analytical and slightly bored. It's a dainty nose. They both have the same looking noses. Nice to meet you. ... He immediately looks at Misha, who smiles and makes a few quick gestures with her hands. Akamichi nods and makes a few gestures of her own. I start to wonder if the teacher was messing with me, saying things like, you'll be able to talk to people, and who better to explain things to you. I can see you're a little confused, right? I don't understand why you would think I was Shi-chan. Shi-chan is deaf, so I'm the person who translates things back and forth for her. I'm like an interpreter. She says it's nice to meet you too. ... You're the new student, aren't you? Well, Shi-chan, of course he is. If he wasn't, he would have been standing up there for no reason, right? Misha looks at me with a weird expression, then continues. We don't know much about him, but maybe we'll find out later. Maybe I should have introduced myself after all. Anything would have been given a better first impression than the teacher's drone and fumbling with my name. We knew there was going to be a new student, but we didn't know you would be here today, so soon. Shi-chan, right? Shi-chan. Yep, it fits, doesn't it? Did I say it out loud? It's just a surprise. I've never liked that nickname. I don't really say how. It fits. You look just like I imagined. ... Ha 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 ha. Feel the exclamation point. Yeah, you look just like a Hugh-chan. I wonder why everybody seems to think so. ... Wakamitsu taps her fingers on the desk to get Misha's attention. They gesture back and forth to each other excitedly, their hands a blur. Misha seems a little overwhelmed. Ahahaha. Or ahaha. Feel the explanation point. Sorry about that. Hugh-chan wants you to know that she's the class rep. So if there's anything you need to know, you can feel free to ask her. ... You like the school so far? We can show you around a little if you haven't had time to walk around and familiarize yourself with it. Misha stumbles with the hard word a bit, making it stick out like her otherwise fluid translation. Thanks, that would be pretty helpful, yeah. Just kinda came straight to class today. ... He doesn't look happy about that. Ha ha ha. Till the exclamation point. That's no good. You should always try to learn as much as you can about where you're going before you go there. Not just with school either. Always, even if it's a trip to the convenience store. Really, Shi-chan? Ha ha ha. Till the exclamation point. Learn about where you're going. I guess I didn't bother to do that, or just didn't care enough to do so. I didn't look forward to this, even if I committed myself to going along with it haphazardly, but anyway. I didn't say anything, and Misha signed something that ends in a shrug. What was that? Seems like it was about me. I feel like slumping over in my seat. Both of them are smiling, but that shrug hit me unexpectedly deeply. Look down, you okay? ... Don't take it the wrong way, please. I hate it when people are afraid to ask questions. That's how people learn things, by asking. Asking for help is just perfectly normal, as much as needing help. Stop looking like you just failed a test. Wahahaha. Till the exclamation point. Alright. ... Ah, and another thing. You don't have to call her Shi-chan something so formal like Hakamichi or class rep all the time. Just call her Shi-chan. ... Ahaha. Till the exclamation point. Okay, maybe that's too casual. Maybe Shizune would be more appropriate. ... Yep. Shizuna's fine. Okay, that would be a lot easier for me. I feel a lot more at ease. Both of them seem so friendly, so I feel like an idiot for being so apprehensive earlier. Especially about Shizune, who I assumed would be all business. Well, she still seems like that, just less so, I guess. Oh. I don't like that expression. Mad about something. ... Exclamation point. Huh? Oh, right. We haven't even touched the assignment. We should start work now or Shi-chan will get mad. The assignment is actually kind of long, so we should start now if we want to finish it before the end of class. Wahaha. Till the exclamation point. That too. He is not happy. ... Shizune glares at the two of us impatiently. I don't need to know sign language to understand that. Okay, I get the message. ... After class, we can take a walk around the grounds together. Nice day today, okay? Assignment is actually very challenging to get through, combining aspects of being both difficult and unnecessarily long. Still, we finished it with a few minutes earlier than anyone else in the class. Despite our late start, Shizeni and Misha are really capable. They're quite different, though. The class rep is as calm and professional as she looks, while Misha is a lot more playful and girlish, not to mention a little more easily distracted. To be honest, the two of them did most of the work. I feel guilty about that. Clock tower bells ring, signaling the end of the period. Time for lunch. Without knowing what else to do, I follow Misha, who is beckoning me into the hallway and down the stairs. We descend even below the lobby where I met Muto, down to the bottom floor. Just like everything in the school, the cafeteria seems too spacious and oddly modern in contrast to the classic exterior. Big windows open to the courtyard, towards the main gate. The cafeteria. Her enthusiastic statement of the obvious makes people around us stare, but Misha doesn't seem to care, so we proceed to the line. This is a rather long list of menu options, which seems great until I realize that many of them are to accommodate students who need special diets. Oh nice, it almost feels like I'm back at the hospital, eating portions measured with scientific precision to meet the needs of the patients. I pick something at random and follow Shizune to a table, sitting opposite of her. Alright, actually, I think I should stop here. Been recording for a little bit. It's actually getting interesting now. Meeting a couple of characters and getting to a couple of new scenes. Yeah, this is picking up. I like it. So yeah, I hope you guys join me next time in Katawa Shoujo. And I'll see you next time.